Hey, Romeos.
How are you?
Hey. Someone's confused. It's Romeo Day.
Somebody just got on the bus and doesn't know where the bus is going.
Where are we going?
Whoa. Okay. First of all,
welcome.
thank you. Welcome to our listeners
Welcome
and viewers.
to our listeners.
Right?
Yeah.
We all thank you. We respect you. We love you. We want you to like and subscribe because we are your Romeos.
Take out the violin. Take out the violin.
The people's Romeo.
Retired old men expressing opinions. Very important.
Absolutely.
We're not old. Fuck you. We're not old. By the way, like and subscribe. Get off your asses. We love you.
And there's Nuren's therapy.
Okay. I'm back.
You're back?
I'm back.
Did you get it all out?
Yeah.
No, there's a lot in me.
Yeah. Keep the meds on standby.
My hands are here.
Do you at least feel a little bit better?
A little bit, yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Your hair looks very nice.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Just-
It's okay. What are we doing here?
What are we talking? Pat, save us.
Pat, please.
I don't think you can be saved. I don't think so.
You gotta help.
I've heard that before.
I'll have to think whether or not it's even worth the effort, but I don't know. I will. I'll make the effort.
Gotta swallow. Okay, good.
Guys,
Yes.
Yeah.
We're here.
a lot of talk, particularly in our hemisphere, about how China is the enemy. And so I wanted to ask you, why is China the enemy?
Is it?
Well, whether it is or it isn't, the sentiment seems to be, and many of our elected officials would like us to think of China as the enemy. Is that a fair statement?
So,
China is a dictatorship.
whoa. Okay. So
Let me just start. Let me just start. China, the Chinese Communist Party it's one party rule. It's a dictatorship.
So what?
Right? So my point was, and we think that in the West we have the issues with dictatorships.
No, we don't.
Well, I guess not.
Maybe you
now,
do.
Now we have one that just south of us. So
hang on.
So
No, we
maybe
I've been saying
it's a moot point.
So first of all, I want to let Dominic kick it off.
Well, I've always been of the belief that we have no business in other people's countries' business. Okay. That's it.
Live and let live.
Yeah.
Thank
Live,
you,
live, live.
thank you, Mr. Trump.
They have 2.5 billion people.
What?
that
Well,
they-
that's a cornerstone of his foreign policy.
What? Okay, stop. That is so
Yeah,
wrong. It's not even funny.
Well, where were you the last 2 weeks? He talked
hang on,
about.
hang on.
He went. Hold it a second. Look it up. He made a statement. His statement is that the United States, and he got a lot of applause for it. We have no business, judging other governments and telling them how to run their affairs.
Okay, perfect.
Right?
Yes.
Good.
That's how he's.
That's all
That's
I'm
how he's
saying.
been
Okay.
throughout. Okay, fine. No problem.
No problem. Good.
Good.
Now,
So personally, first of all, I don't have a problem with dictatorship because I think benevolent dictatorship is the best governing force you can have on the planet. Benevolent dictatorship, what it's actually good for the people. And I believe China has a mandate or a mindset that's beyond one generation. It's generational, it's 100-year plans. It's people that understand that it's not just about the people that are alive today, but it's about the people that are going to be alive 50, 100 years from now moving forward. And when you can plan on that type of time horizon, you can make some amazing things happen.
so communism is good.
No, I didn't say communism is good. I think
That's the system
benevolent.
you're describing.
No, I described benevolent dictatorship.
Communists
Isn't-
think they're benevolent.
Aki, I'm telling you that my belief, and if you can tell me otherwise, then that's great. But if you have a truly benevolent dictator, that dictator can do anything on the turn of a dime. So if a country needs a certain thing, it doesn't have to go into a two-party system that's got Senate and House, and they have to go and they start trying to put legislation together, and you got to make deals, and you got to put pork in it and all.
Right.
No. You got one thing to do. You need to pave this road. Pave the fucking road.
Okay.
Okay.
Make the trains run on time.
Make the trains run on time. As long as you're not killing people to do it.
The
Then maybe-
fascists. That's what the fascists were known. It was their trademark
Aki.
statement.
Aki.
Yeah, they still do.
benevolent dictatorship.
But
benevolence. You know what that
can
word
you give me an
means?
example of a benevolent
China.
dictator?
China. Right now, I believe
no
China.
human rights.
Aki.
No independent.
Aki.
How can a system?
Aki, why are you judging? Do you live in China? Have you raised a family in China?
Look.
Have you raised a family in China?
I don't have to
No,
raise
you
a
do,
family
because
in
what
China.
you're looking
I
at,
don't have to raise a family in Sudan.
Aki, all you're looking at is bullshit that CNN puts in front of you.
I'm not
okay?
talking about CNN.
If you talk, when you go on TikTok and you talk about people and you talk about guys that are posting from China that say, "Hey, let me express to you how China works." Everyone in China has a home.
Have you heard of Tiananmen Square?
For God's sake, if you're going to start spouting off about certain things that happened in history because of something that, because of a bunch of actions that were going around at that time, and you just throw Tiananmen Square out. Yes, someone died, or people died in Tiananmen Square. Have people not died in the riots that are happening in LA right now?
Communism. So you're arguing that communism is what?
Aki, I said benevolent dictatorship.
Okay.
What part of that do you not understand?
Benevolent dictatorship. But when you talk about China, do you agree that China is a communist system?
I don't care about the system. What I care about are the results.
Okay.
If I'm looking at a country, because he asked the question, is China the enemy? I don't think so. I think there is zero enemy in China. I think what you need to do is you have to understand the people. You have to understand what they're trying to accomplish as a nation. I applaud what they're trying to accomplish. They have great family morals. They take care of their family. It's a wonderful society. There's nothing wrong with their society. The way it's run is the best way I think you can run 1 billion people.
2.5 billion.
Is it that much now?
So dictatorship for you is an acceptable form of government. Okay.
The way that they're doing things for the people, to me, is...
They do it for the party.
Aki.
Let's not be naive, Noran. Seriously.
Aki, who's being naive here?
You
are. Ask someone who's lived in the system whether they feel oppressed.
Look at what Chinese dissidents have to say. Look at the Uyghurs, what they have to say.
Yeah. Look at the Uyghurs. Yes, let's talk about the Uyghurs because it's on CNN, because it's on the news. They've been oppressed.
Not Tiananmen Square, not the Uyghurs, not human rights.
Okay.
You know?
All right, okay.
Ask how Mexicans feel in the U.S. right now.
Guys,
I think Pat enjoyed this.
Yes.
yeah, so I'm growing a little tired of Dominic and I playing the roles of viewers and listeners in a podcast that we're supposed to be active participants in. So as much as I enjoy watching and listening to you guys, so suffice it to say that the two of you are not at the same point on the spectrum as far as ideology is concerned, or which type of political systems you view as being best or not so good.
But these two are.
There you go.
But listen, at the end of the day,
China is not the enemy.
at the end of the day, I don't believe that there's one ideology that should supplant all others. I don't think that there's one political system that is perfect or ideal.
Yeah.
And I do think that the world would be a better place if we took the time to understand and respect other people's beliefs and measures that others take in order to organize their society in the way that they believe to be best. And at the end of the day, if the members of that society disagree with what's being done, then it's up to them to intervene.
Exactly.
And to make changes.
Exactly.
Not some foreign entity to step in and to feel that it's their God-given right.
Yeah. Totally agree.
You go into a...
So
go ahead.
There are many things about the Chinese political system and ideology that I'm in disagreement with. Mm-hmm. That doesn't necessarily mean that I should vilify them or treat them as an enemy.
Exactly.
But if you're representing a country that is looking to have relations, trade, commerce, various programs that you want to jointly engage in, then you do have to be mindful of differences between the cultures or between the systems that may prove to be detrimental to the well-being of what you're trying to accomplish within your own country. Okay? So again, so I'll give you an example.
Yeah, please.
Aki mentioned human rights.
Okay.
So a country that truly stands for human rights may elect not to engage in activities with a country that has a complete disregard for human rights. And that's their prerogative.
I have a problem with that statement.
Okay.
I have a problem with the high, the soapbox that North Americans put themselves on with respect to human rights. Hang on.
Yeah.
And at the same time, for example, when you look in the US, not in Canada, well, maybe Canada as well, but in the US for sure, when you look at the percentage of people of color who are in prisons and the way things...
I'm not going to
So
disagree
when
with
you talk about
but
human-
the two are different in the sense
they're
that
different, but they're still stomping on human rights.
what you're referring to is the hypocrisy
Yes.
that is prevalent
Exactly.
in certain societies. I would put Americans at the top of the class, at the top of the heap in that regard.
Okay.
Canada is similar, right? Just
I agree.
not as extreme, but similar.
Similar.
And I think if we were to study other countries, we would find that hypocrisy exists elsewhere.
That's why when you said human rights...
Because I'll give you an example. I agree with you that it is not our, meaning Western civilization's mandate to ensure that certain Middle Eastern countries provide women with equal rights to men.
Yeah.
It's not part of our mandate.
No. That's their issue.
It's their issue. By the same token, it doesn't mean that we have to engage with them, because if we feel that strongly that women are being disrespected or are not being treated as equals in another society,
Right.
then we have a judgment to make. And then you say, you may disagree with that. I think that's perfectly legitimate.
I don't. I
In the
think it
same
has
way
nothing
that
to do with
I
our...
choose who I want to associate with within
Yes.
my own country
Yes.
based on whether or not I can respect individuals, and doesn't mean that they have to see the world exactly the way I do. On the contrary, I think the differences of opinion can be very healthy, but there are some fundamental values that have to be present,
Okay.
right? And all I'm saying is the same extends to groups or countries, companies, businesses, political parties.
Okay. That's
And
your...
I would like to see that norm applied consistently.
It's not at all.
Of course not.
At all.
Of course not. So
It's used as an excuse sometimes when you don't want to do business with a country.
So back to the question is China the enemy? There are certain practices that China has been accused of, and I believe that there's evidence to support. So a lack of respect, for instance, for copyright,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Espionage.
right? Or intellectual property.
Exactly.
Or the feeling that I can go into any other country and I can take their know-how
Yeah.
and not have any obligation towards that country.
Yep.
I fundamentally disagree with that,
Yep. Okay.
right? So they can choose to do what they like,
And they have.
and they have,
Yeah.
but I have the right to an opinion, and I have the right to then decide how I'm going to interact with them, if at all.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay?
But if you understand that behavior...
So if I believe in the concept of trade between countries, if I believe in intellectual property, if I believe in copyright and infringements, then I am not going to choose to participate actively with a country that doesn't respect the same beliefs.
But if you know that beforehand and you can manage...
I can't trust. So my whole point is,
No, you can't.
and I apply this to my person.
Okay.
If I can't respect or trust someone, there's no basis for a relationship.
Okay. That's you.
Yeah.
And that's your... So you believe that China is the enemy?
Not the enemy in the way they are necessarily vilified at times.
Okay.
I just don't see them as
Would you do business
a
in China?
partner.
Would you do business in China? If you owned a business and you ran a business, which you have, would you do business in China?
It's advantageous
It
for
depends on the
business.
nature of the business.
Exactly. So you
Because
know, but you know the risks.
where there's a consumer population of more than 2 billion, depending on the goods and services I'm marketing.
So you know the risk.
Well, then you proceed accordingly.
Exactly. That's my point.
But at any time, if you set up business
Yeah.
activities in that country, understand that at any time that could be taken away from you,
Correct. It can.
because
But that's part of...
they do not respect the same laws
Yeah.
that Western society has put in place.
Right. But you play by the rules. You're in their country. You play
do,
by the rules.
You do, or there are consequences.
Correct.
In the same way that, look, American companies that march into Europe
Yeah.
and apply the same business practices as they do in North America are finding out to the tune of billions of dollars in penalties and fines that they're not free to exercise the same attitudes and behaviors in Western Europe
And
as they
pricing
are
model.
in America.
Absolutely.
Right? So in that regard, it's similar.
Exactly.
Where it's different is that there's more common ground in the values and beliefs of Western Europeans and North Americans than there are between Western Europeans and North Americans and certain Asian countries, including China. That's where there's a difference.
In what sense?
Not that much.
In family values?
Yeah.
Because I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
Well, again, so I can come back to hypocrisy. There's in certain Asian countries, there's a smokescreen of respect. They say, oh, respect is so important in these countries. It's at the core of their culture.
Well, they're very racist, though.
And then you see how they behave. So it could be, a male spouse versus in relation to their female spouse, and you say, that's interesting because in my culture, the way you are acting towards that individual is a sign of disrespect.
yeah, they're sexist and racist.
Right.
So I can tell you that.
Okay, no, so
But they have great family values.
well, so to me the two don't equate.
No kidding.
Right? To me, the two don't equate. So again, to me, an enemy is a strong word.
Yeah.
It's a very, very strong word. So I'm not prepared to declare a country like China an enemy.
However,
Can they be trusted in terms of conducting trade? Not based on our value system, because they're not going to respect the same rules. They're not going to play the rules.
yeah, but you know
the
that
game by the
already.
same rules.
You know that, though.
Yeah.
Right.
So you have that knowledge. It's not like it's a surprise. So you can now choose to do business with them or not, or you can choose to show enough of your business model or what part of the business model you want to show them. You can choose this because you know it's all going to be stolen.
I agree with that. Exactly.
So you know it.
Right.
It's the enemy you
So
know.
don't be naive. When you sign a contract with someone who's not going to respect the terms and conditions of the contract,
Correct.
it's pointless to sign a contract. Pointless.
know your boundaries and know what you're getting yourself into. But once you know that, then it's up to you. Yes, you want to do business with them, great. You don't, fine. But they're not the enemy. I don't think it's not about enemy. It's not about an adversary. It's about it's about a country that does things differently.
You don't think they're adversarial?
They may be.
In what sense? Are they dropping bombs on anyone?
No, that's not their method. That's not their method.
No. They buy infrastructure.
Well, they buy infrastructure.
Cyber warfare.
They infiltrate other countries' infrastructure with
Yes.
spyware.
Yeah.
Right. They take their time to
Wouldn't the Americans do the exact same
expand
thing, though?
their sphere. Every country spies.
Exactly.
Every
that's my
country
point.
spies.
Why are they the enemy? They're doing the same thing that any American has done
Americans-
with the CIA.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that the Chinese look at Americans as the enemy?
Yeah.
See, no,
Probably
I
not.
don't.
I don't know.
I don't know that. I don't know whether they view it as the
Do you,
enemy.
do you
or
think
not.
they trust them?
No, of course not.
Do you think they respect them?
Yes.
In a sense, in certain
Yes.
yes and no, depending on what the
Yes.
thing is.
Okay.
Yes and no.
So it's a two-sided coin. It goes both ways.
Can we look at another side? How has China been good to the world? 'Cause it has.
Manufacturing, the
Exactly.
manufacturing hub
It has
of
kept
the planet
the inflation rate under control for the
20
last
years.
25
more.
years.
Exactly.
So,
Well,
like most countries,
self-interest.
China has been good to the world where it has been beneficial to China.
Of course, but that's okay.
Well, it's symbiotic. It has
Yeah,
to
it's
be.
it.
No, but the way you phrase the question is like China has been good for the world, has done things that are favorable for the world.
They came out of poverty.
Only to the extent that it benefited them.
They have a middle class now. They came out of the
Yeah.
poverty
Yeah, of
and the
course.
fields that they were all in the rural environments. You look at Shanghai. It's the most amazing city I've ever been
There are
to.
more billionaires than most countries.
Just the ability to remove waste and to water and feed 30, 40 million people. I don't know how much it is now. I was there in 2011. I was amazed at how unbelievable that place was. The scale at which they're able to accomplish things blows me away. This is a fantastic, fantastic society. You cannot do this in democracy where you got to vote for everything and 50% of the people are on one side.
Of course not. Of course not. But you
Look at how fast they've developed.
You have pros and cons to each system.
But there's a reason why they've been able to develop and come out from where they were over the past 20, 30 years. And the only reason they've been able to do this is because of a government that could do whatever the hell they want.
Of course.
And they've done the best they can for the people to bring them out. So some people have, yes, you've had to destroy villages so you can build a huge hydroelectro dam. You've had to move people. But the people that they move, they build another city for them 100 miles away, and they give everyone's homes, and no one's stranded. Yes, they've been uprooted from their place, but now all of a sudden you've got a hydroelectric dam that can now provide electricity for 500,000 people.
And you always do what the government tells you. You always do what the party tells you.
Yes,
you think that's a good
again,
way
because their
to
view,
function as a society?
Their view. Again, if you're benevolent, if your view is about the whole...
But they're not benevolent.
Hang on, Aki. If the view is of the whole society, if you have 2 billion people and you're trying to do what's best for 1.8 billion of those people, and 2 million people are going to get screwed, or 200 million, or whatever the number is. 200 million, thank you. If 200 million people are going to get screwed so that 1.8 billion of them can have a better life, then so fucking be it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the reality.
I think the reality is...
You can't look at every single individual.
No, but I think the reality is simpler than what you're articulating.
Is it?
Yeah, because I don't care where in the world you're born. I don't care what culture you're part of. If you're a Homo sapien, then you share certain attributes, including this thirst for power, this thirst for control, this thirst for wealth, and so
salivating.
Really, a lot of what China is doing is to say we were once if not the world power. It was eons ago, but we were the world power. And then we became a third world country, mired in poverty.
Yeah.
Let's take the steps to return to the glory days.
And they have.
They're on their way. I mean, they are probably one generation away.
They're the second largest
from being
economy.
the world's largest economy.
Exactly. They're the second largest economy.
And they have their sights set on controlling most elements of the value chain that defines who's going to win over the course of probably not only the next, but the next 3 generations.
You know what I think is amazing about the Chinese is they only, from my perspective, and I may be wrong, they want to control themselves. The politicians, the leaders of China want to control China. They'll softly control other places in the world with their Silk Road. Thank you, initiative. That's economic power, but influence. But they're not seeking to make every country like China. The U.S. wants to spread democracy, so in the name of democracy, they're going to topple governments and so on. This is not happening in China.
They're ambitious, not delusional. So controlling the world until further notice is an impossibility. But taking Taiwan, building a naval fleet that has no competition globally, building capabilities with core technologies that are going to define who wins and who doesn't over the course of the coming generation.
Well, for AI.
These are all the areas that they're investing in.
Yeah, and that's good. But
right?
What's wrong with that? Again, I don't see anything negative in any of that.
I don't see it as a negative. I don't see any of those elements as a negative. What I'm saying is let's not kid ourselves into thinking that they're doing it for reasons of, what is going to be most beneficial to our population. It's really a broader view of how do we gain such power and influence that we become the dominant country on the planet.
Okay,
that's really what it's about.
And what does that mean? I'm the dominant country.
It means you have the greatest economic power. You have the greatest military power.
Okay,
right.
The U.S. is there now.
Yes, and
Holy shit. Well, what does that mean?
It's defined over the course of generations.
Yeah, I know, but who cares, right? The U.S. is now the leading global power.
Obviously,
anything happening?
What do you mean anything happening?
What's
they've
the
leveraged that to the hilt?
Yeah. But in what way? Economically, yes.
Of course.
But they're not threatening to fucking bomb anybody.
Who? The Chinese?
No, the Canadians. The U.S.
Well, the Canadians certainly not.
Well,
The U.S.
No, the U.S. has had a very different approach to foreign affairs. It's not been
Until recently.
It's not been flexing your military muscle. It's been sending in
operatives.
operatives who spy on foreign governments and infiltrating the system and influencing who, embarks on the political scene in order to exert influence that way and try and spread what I'll call the American form of democracy in as many countries as possible.
Which China won't do.
and it's failed miserably.
Yeah,
but that's what they've tried to do.
yeah, okay. And I'm just
China
saying,
has a different approach.
Exactly.
China's not looking at the world the way America looked at the world post World War II.
Yeah,
it's a different approach.
Exactly. And again, from my vantage point, I don't see it as being anything negative. I don't see this as a negative thing for
Because
the planet.
they focus on domestic.
Exactly.
So you guys are in favor.
No, it's not.
Would you-
I think that's where you guys are seeing it
Right.
in such a naive way. It has
What?
nothing to do with domestic.
No, it does.
It
I think
does.
No, unless
they're setting up the world so that it's basically able to support and let China grow.
the world has become, listen, people are reacting now.
Mm-hmm.
The world has become so dependent on China.
Yeah, as a manufacturer.
That was a design point. China put a plan in place and they've been executing it brilliantly.
Good.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's allowed inflation to stay tame for the past freaking
Okay,
30
So
years.
just to be clear, what you guys are saying is, as long as there's economic prosperity, that's the priority, and any other considerations, freedom or human rights, those are secondary.
Freedom or human rights.
Right.
Look at hear
Secondary
yourself
to
think.
who?
You
But
think
to
someone
who?
who lives in Beijing doesn't have any
Secondary
freedom?
Absolutely not the same as somebody who lives here.
Whoa.
Absolutely. Go ahead, argue how.
So it becomes a question of degree,
Yeah,
Aki.
exactly.
America's in the process of stifling free speech.
Yes.
There are examples in Canada. Let's look at the province of Quebec, where basic rights have been taken away from constituents or
You can't
residents
speak a language.
because they don't speak a language, or because they would ideally like to be able to express themselves in a certain language.
Yes.
It becomes a question of degree.
You have the right to protest. You have the right.
You
to
and your right to
assemble.
process. Oh
You
my
have
God.
you have
That
have the
right is so important.
You have
It's
a right.
so
So
important.
you want to just throw out some fun? You want to throw out the history of constitutional government?
Aki.
Not
No.
important to you.
No,
I'm asking
becomes
Nuran.
I'm
it's
gonna
a
ask-
societal
I'm gonna-
issue. This is where philosophically, I understand where you're coming from, and I can't disagree. Practically speaking, it is not up to Europeans or North Americans to tell the Chinese what they should accept and what they shouldn't accept.
Exactly.
It's up to the Chinese people to decide.
Exactly. And the Chinese people seem to be very happy with the government that over the past 30 years has brought most of them out of poverty.
You're so
allow
naive.
them to buy cars. I'm naive.
Yes,
Holy shit.
Yes, you are.
Holy
Welcome
shit.
to the club. You're
Yeah.
naive. You think if there was like an actual independent survey of Chinese
I think if they
people,
went and
most of-
voted, they would all vote for Xi right now.
they would vote for the Communist Party.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Correct.
I disagree.
I think
I disagree.
The largest majority on the planet
doesn't matter.
would vote for their
It doesn't
for their
matter.
government.
It's
Look at what
irrelevant.
the government has done for them. For God's sake.
what is your
Hang on.
conclusion?
Do you think in North America that if they had the same if they had a government, the democratic government in North America, whether it be in the U.S. or Canada, that you would see a 30-year span of prosperity like China has had
Okay, so this is it.
and growth?
Nuran, so this is what you're talking about. You're talking about the ultimate
Prosperity and
consideration is
growth.
prosperity and growth, and it doesn't matter. So if you're a dictatorship, call it a benevolent dictatorship.
So out of the one, out of
you
the
want to
two-
live in a society. You want to live in a prosperous society where you
Yes.
don't really have
Everything
any
has a
freedom.
cost. Everything has a cost.
You can't express yourself. You can't express a political
Who says
opinion.
they can't express
Oh,
themselves?
come on. Now you're being naive. Look at the Communist Party of China, how they rule China.
Yeah, okay.
Look at the dissidents.
Aki.
Look at what they've done in Hong Kong. When the promise was, when we accepted Hong Kong, we took it
Yes.
back. We were going to maintain.
There's a
the
price for
freedom.
everything.
There's a price for everything.
That's the price.
So what?
Aki, what you're saying is they can't be trusted. They lie. They lie.
No,
They
it's
manipulate
more
people.
subtle. It's more subtle. It's more nuanced than that.
Well, how's it nuanced? When they
It's
take
more nuanced down. It's more nuanced than that.
When terms and conditions of China taking back Hong Kong are established and agreed to,
Right. And
And
they're
then taken
violating.
back.
and then violated,
Right.
Yeah.
there are no consequences.
Correct. Well, what are you going to do? You're going to go. Who's going to
So
go?
how is that nuanced?
Okay, but what are you going to do?
Well, get to your point,
situation-
because your point is beyond that.
The situation. Then you're not going to. We're not going to go to war with China over Hong Kong. Unfortunately, this is the way the world
our
operates.
business. You know what? The Brits and the West were naive to think that the Chinese would honor their commitments. That's just plain stupidity.
All right. So if you think if you're making the case that the Communist Party of China is an admirable governing model, I object to that.
I'm saying it is what it is, and it's not up to us to object to it.
And it's working.
Okay? And it's working for their people.
Exactly.
Their people have come out of fucking poverty. Do you understand? They didn't have food to eat. Now they can buy cars. Do you understand what that is in a generation or a generation and a half?
Xi Jinping, you have a change at the top of the Communist Party that can decide to go back to Mao doctrinaire government. Then what happens?
Then they can deal with it. It's not up to us.
Okay, but you're
It's
just
not up to us.
It's not.
You guys are you're arguing a point that you're approaching from completely different perspectives. You're applying your belief system.
I'm not buying. No, not my belief system. I'm applying, basic, constitutional, democratic principles.
Yeah, because it works so well here in North
doesn't-
America.
It does. I'm happy to be here. I don't want to live in Peking or Beijing. Sorry.
So that's your choice.
That's your choice. Live here.
And
I've been there,
anybody
and
else?
it's a fucking nice place
Would
to be.
you live there? Would you
I
raise
would
your
not
kids
mind.
there?
I would not mind. You know
Okay.
how family
So I will-
friendly that
okay.
place is?
I can
You think
understand
people
that.
get murdered in the streets there?
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
Only if they
Stop it.
protest.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Tiananmen Square, 10,000 unarmed students massacred by the People's Liberation Army.
Oh.
Okay, you're right. That's fine. I have no argument to you.
Everything
If that's
has a
acceptable
cost.
to you.
Everything has a cost.
That's
Everything
acceptable
has
to
a
you.
cost.
But the cost up to where do you go to pay that cost?
Why are you
Concentration camps?
Billions
why are you objecting? Though?
Yeah.
So-
I'm objecting. I'm
Aki,
objecting.
why are you
I don't want you.
objecting?
I don't like the window dressing of this.
Aki.
At least admit, it's a dictatorship.
There's a
And a
cost.
dictatorship is not.
He
a
didn't say
good
it
model.
wasn't a dictatorship.
I said it's a benevolent dictatorship that's looking at the whole thing. It's not looking at each person has an individual right. Everyone can change their sex. Everyone can do this. Everyone can do. No, they look at collective.
Exactly.
It's a collective model. It's
Exactly.
I'm.
And Aki, the only reason why you don't speak German is because millions of people have to die. So there's always a cost.
Yeah. So your point is.
Well, there's always a cost.
and German's a hard language to learn.
Very relevant point. Thank you.
Well, it's easier for an Anglophone than it is for someone who's
Exactly.
talking.
But we shouldn't be living in a world where millions have to die. The innocent millions have to
Hasn't-
die.
Isn't that the history of the world?
Unfortunately, can we not move on? Can we not progress?
Clearly not.
But
No.
we don't have
No.
millions of people dying in China.
There's hypocrisy
So
everywhere.
Aki, I have a question for you. If the majority of the Chinese population felt the way you did, do you think that would lead to change?
Well, there would be, instead of having all these,
Yeah, it's very hard in a system like that.
Everything's hard. That's not my
Media,
question.
there's no independent. There's no
but answer
independent
his
forums.
question.
There's no independent forums. So people, don't have the opportunity to organize.
Maybe
the
it's
opportunity
different.
to express
So
themselves.
Aki, may
the
I
opportunity
suggest
to take a political position.
Aki, may I
that
suggest
doesn't exist.
May I suggest something else? May I suggest that their policies have been good for the vast majority of Chinese?
Guys, you're not answering my question.
Exactly.
And it's not telling me something is hard means it can't be accomplished. I'm asking you, if the majority of the population in that country shared your values and your beliefs,
Wouldn't they topple the government?
can I answer that?
It's a very
Can I answer
Forget
that?
hard.
theoretically yes. Practically no.
If that was the case,
Why practically?
that was the case, instead of having all these hundreds of thousands of migrants coming here from Africa, they'd be coming from China, but they don't.
Exactly. The Chinese can travel anywhere on the planet.
Exactly.
They're allowed to leave.
Exactly.
They're not coming here as refugees, are they?
Exactly.
Why not? Because they have a great life there.
Yeah.
They have a middle class. Everyone owns a home there. Everyone has a place to
They have
live
too
in
many.
China.
Okay,
Yeah.
but
Well,
no, Ryan, you also know that there's
or-
a serious economic
Hold on.
problems in China.
everywhere, where in the world are there not serious economic problems?
Right, but they cover them up in China. I mean, we know everybody knows.
And we don't, and Americans
That's
don't.
fine. I'm not. It's not always
Wow.
drawing the comparison with us. We're talking about China.
He lives in a different world.
I know.
He lives in a different world.
We're talking about China. Can we focus on China and stop comparing? We're not, unless you run with the exercise of
Again.
I wanna compare.
Isn't everything a comparison? Because everything you're bringing up as a negative is in relation
To
is
North
a comparison.
America.
No, to his to his
Oh, no, but at
belief
least,
system.
but at least, but we have open data here. We have, we have open conversations and debates and criticism and analysis. We have a free media. We have, a diversity of opinion and analysis.
Really?
Yes, we do.
And that has worked out good.
Podcasts in China, Google in China, the big tech companies are censored.
So the only thing
So
that
is that a good sign?
Listen,
Aki,
it is what it is.
The only significant
I'm not going to
difference
tell them
I
how to run
see
their country.
is that based on political system, we in North America have an easier way of changing the government.
Yes, we do, and that's important. That's not a small thing.
Okay.
I didn't say it was small. I'm saying that's the most significant difference.
That really helped on April 28th.
Listen,
The reference to Canada's elections.
they are allowed.
Thank you, Nora.
So we're allowed over here. So people are allowed to express themselves any way they want. They can say whatever the fuck they want. They can put it on social media. It doesn't have to be true or false. They can do whatever the hell they want. So everyone has a fucking opinion here, including retired old men. We all have our fucking opinions, and we're allowed to express our opinions over here.
Yeah.
Has it made life better or worse in North America?
For the Romeos, better.
For us, yes. But in general, with all this disinformation that's out there, people don't even know what they're protesting half
Well,
the
you
time.
also have to be responsible.
No, you're
People have to
absolutely
assume
right.
responsibility.
Because they're sheep.
Exactly.
People have to assume responsibility.
So now what the Communist Party in China has done is they've curtailed that. They said, you know what? We're not going to allow all this shit. We don't want our people to be fucking head spinning around because they're getting information.
No,
from
we don't want criticism of our policies and our
Correct.
leaders.
Yes,
that's what
they
we don't
don't.
want.
Yeah, okay.
That's the real motive.
Correct.
Because
Okay.
because
That's a dictatorship.
because it's detrimental to the agenda.
And
Exactly.
it's detrimental to the position of the party. The party
Which
is supreme.
which is the agenda.
As long
That's
as
fine.
the party...
And I think
but
that's a crooked agenda.
Aki, let me ask you
Look.
one question. Let me just ask you one question. And I want you to answer it fucking honestly.
Don't I always?
If you believe, but I want you, this if is a really important if. If you truly believe that the Communist Party of China is benevolent to the majority of the people of China, just this one fact, if you believe that they're truly benevolent, they give a shit about the majority of Chinese for this generation, the next generation, and the next 5 generations. If you believe that, how can you then be against them?
I do not believe that.
Well, I do.
Their primary interest is to hold on to power and to have only one system of government, which is the communist system of government.
Does she have a super yacht someplace? Do you think he's hoarding money someplace? Do you think he gives a shit about any of that? Do you see him?
What?
Do you see him surrounded in palaces?
So what? He summarily orders people's execution.
Hang on, Aki.
Everything has a cost.
You're talking about how all of a sudden I lost my train of thought, but
I think you were drawing a comparison between Xi and Putin.
exactly, I was.
Yeah.
They're not the same type of individual. One is doing it for the people. Now, you may not agree with all of his policies, but the framework of what he has in his mind is about the people of China. As long as that remains true,
If you do not accept dissent, I'm not interested.
well, you're
Sorry,
wrong.
if you don't accept
because dissent, the dissent that
Correct.
we have in North America is tainted
But he's
by the
dissenting.
disinformation. the dissent. Listen to what I'm.
the Romeo World Headquarters,
The dissent you see in North America is fueled by disinformation.
That's
only in North America?
Globally now, besides China,
Yes.
what they've done is they've stamped out that dissent by stopping bullshit.
They've never had dissent, even before the tech.
No,
So they're ahead of the fucking curve.
Wait,
come on.
The only thing I'm going to disagree with you on, based on your most recent statement, is that they've eliminated the bullshit. No, they've eliminated the bullshit that
potential.
comes from the public.
Yeah, exactly.
Their own bullshit still gets applied.
And that's fine. That's okay. That
Yeah.
is what it is, and
You're
I
right,
agree.
you're right.
And that is what it is. I agree with that.
There's one overriding narrative.
Yeah, theirs. I get that.
Okay, but no,
But what part of what I said about the dissent that's being fueled by disinformation do you not agree with? Do you think that's a better fucking thing for the people?
this is democracy is messy, and I believe in democracy.
Aki,
and the
don't
stories.
throw slogans at me.
what
I'm not
political-
throwing-
That's a slogan.
No, democracy is messy.
What political system isn't messy?
Yes, exactly. Look, Nuran, let's
So
go
why?
back.
So why highlight democracy?
Let's go back to the initial discussion in question.
China the
Is
enemy?
China the enemy? I'm not saying, we have our of course we've dealt with, regimes with whom we did not agree.
Who's we?
The world, trade, international trade, that's what it's based on. When it works well, it means, that we trade.
China has been fucking amazing for international trade.
I'm not disputing that. What I'm saying is I'm getting back to the original question that we're asking. Is China the enemy? I'm not saying that China is the enemy. I'm saying for sure they are the adversary because of the way they're conducting themselves, the way they're building up their military. We know that they're ambitious. We know that they're ambitious. We know that they interfere in other countries' political systems. We know that.
No, economic systems, not political.
Political systems as well. Come on.
Like the U.S. hasn't.
I'm not talking about the U.S. I'm talking about China.
Okay, what you've just described, can you not apply that to every developed country
But at
in the
least,
world?
again, what don't you guys understand? Yes.
Why are you hating on
there's
them?
a lot we don't
Why are you a
understand.
hater?
So why don't
Can you answer my question?
Right, of course we are. But at least it's more open. At least it's
more open.
Well,
Yeah, the CIA
how
is
is
super
spying,
open.
How is spying open? It defeats the
There's
purpose.
a free media, for God's sakes. There's a free press that can investigate.
Investigate what?
Well, if you
Yeah,
want to
Newsmax is free.
Covert operations?
But then your conclusion
Oh yeah,
is
Newsmax.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
Newsmax.
then the democracy is a charade, and that's where we're going.
Thank
do
you.
Do you
Thank
not
you.
agree that
Okay,
some
that's- I
aspects?
disagree.
Do you
Bingo.
not agree that some aspects of democracy are a charade?
Some aspects are absolutely.
Like I said, bingo.
Some aspects.
You got it right.
Some aspects.
You
But I
said
will
it.
not. But I will still take this imperfect system over a bloody dictatorship where the dictator is completely unaccountable and untouchable.
Hang on, Aki.
No.
Aki.
Wait a second.
Aki.
So, are you talking about Russia or China?
I'm talking about China and Russia.
No, they're separate, completely different.
You really believe that the
Completely
leader,
different.
the leader of the Communist Party in China is untouchable?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't see it that
He's a
way.
strong man. Absolutely.
No, I think that if there was
Yeah,
a strong sentiment
Within the party.
to make a change, they would.
of course.
Would there be?
Whereas in Russia, the only way you can accomplish
Exactly.
that would be an assassination.
Exactly.
Would there be in China? Is it possible? Is it possible for there to be a political party other than the Communist Party?
No. Not in the near to midterm. No, absolutely
And
not.
that's-
Russia is
that, that would
That's
that
my
kind-
standard.
Okay, that kind of change would, but that's not changing the leader. That's
That's my
changing the
standard.
political system. To change a communist regime, you need an uprising from within.
Exactly.
That's the only way to change
But
a
they're
communist
all,
regime.
they're all happy for now, so.
Yeah, because look
Well,
at their
it's
standard of living.
degrees. It's degrees of satisfaction or dissatisfaction.
Exactly.
Exactly. They're doing fantastic for their people.
Is China better off today than it was a generation ago?
Of course.
There
or
you
2
go.
or 3 generations ago when they were all in
So,
the dirt?
If you look at most of Western countries that are essentially governed through a democratic system, would you say they're better off or worse off than a
Worse.
generation ago?
Canada is way worse.
No, but Aki, what do you think? Better or worse?
I think we're better.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're wrong.
At least I think three of us believe
No, I think
that
we're better.
Three of us believe that we're worse off than we were a
Yeah,
generation
if you're,
ago.
by economic metrics, yes, maybe we are.
What other metric you want to talk about?
Freedom, freedom.
Freedom.
I want to talk about.
That doesn't feed
I
the
wanna-
kids.
Is America
Quality of life is still good in this country.
okay?
in my opinion.
Is free speech more or less prevalent in America
Okay,
today?
you guys are looking at each other. Your quality of life is what? You think you have a bad quality of life?
Then a generation ago, we're talking about a generation ago here.
Yeah.
Okay, so your quality of life is worse than your parents?
It's not theirs.
Do you think that
the young people today are complaining about not being able to afford housing?
Yeah.
Yes.
That wasn't true a generation ago.
Exactly.
Well, a generation
Americans-
ago, the unemployment rate was through the roof, and young people couldn't even get
People
interviews.
were not complaining the way they are today. Americans a generation ago could protest in the streets or on college campuses
and not get deported.
and not fear that they were going to be imprisoned or deported.
Yes.
That's not true today.
Yes. And
So
let's not do that. That's what I'm saying. And that's what.
Let's-
What do you mean? But we're doing it. The question is, are we better off or
Than
worse
China.
off?
Exactly.
No, not than China. We just finished agreeing, I think, that China is better off than it was a generation ago.
Yes, it
Exactly.
was.
But Western civilization,
Not
if you look at
necessarily.
all Western European countries,
Yeah.
Canada, the U.S., are they better off today than they were a generation ago?
From a democratic standpoint, we're better off. From an economic standpoint, we can have a debate. But the democratic
There's
standpoint
no
is
debate,
important.
man.
No debate.
We're better off democratically. So I never heard a generation ago. I didn't hear until 5 years ago about stolen elections. Never.
Yeah.
I never heard that comment.
And yet we're better democratically now?
Never heard that.
But the fact
I never heard an American president not accept the results, the outcome of an election. Even Al Gore, for goodness sake,
You're right.
conceded. He said, okay,
Right.
it is
The
what it is.
Supreme Court
Right.
said what they did.
Yeah.
Right.
And I respect the institution. That doesn't happen
But
anymore.
we still have, but having said all that, we still have a system that fights back, that has the opportunity to oppose these actions,
Wow.
to be able to take a stand, to be able to
But
resort to the court.
what is the trend line?
The trend line is problematic.
Okay.
The trend line is problematic.
If you're,
but I don't want it. But you're not. It's not dishonest argument to say because these are the problems that we're having. Therefore, our idea of a constitutional democracy is not valid.
So why
Let
are
me-
you
let me put it
vilifying
this
the
way.
Chinese, though? Why do you vilify them?
I'm going to tell you why.
The Communist
don't,
Party of
Don't ask
China.
him the question. Ask me.
Why is he vilifying the Chinese?
Why are we vilifying the Chinese?
I'm not.
No, I didn't say we as in the four of us or three of us. We as a collective in Western society. Because of what we just finished saying. Over the course of the past generation, the trend line in China has been rapidly upwards.
Correct.
Exactly.
Standard of living is rising.
Absolutely.
Economic power is increasing.
Yes.
Military power is increasing.
Yes.
Global influence is increasing.
Yes.
Global dependency on China has increased dramatically.
Yes.
While that has taken place over the course of the same generation, standards of living in Western society have diminished.
Yes.
Economic power has diminished.
Yes.
Oui, papa.
Military power, with the exception of the U.S., has diminished.
Yes.
Democratic principles
Are
have
watered.
diminished.
Yes.
They're watered down.
I think we're done. Huh? Thank you.
So
Thank
Western
you.
civilization is looking as those trend lines, and they're saying we don't like where this is headed.
And the scapegoat is
China. Yes.
So this is
Very
historic.
good.
Mike, draw.
This is historic. This is historic.
I'm done.
Three staunch capitalists making the case for communism. Historic.
We're not making the case for communism.
that's what China
We're not
does.
vilifying
We're
them.
asking-
We're
that's the
answering.
system.
No,
The
we're
system you're
answering.
praising is communist.
Aki, with all due respect, keep quiet long enough to listen to the following words. We are simply answering the question that was posed at the beginning of this podcast.
That's it.
Why is China the enemy?
It's
and I
not.
just finished articulating why the rest of the world views
Thinks it
China
is.
as the enemy.
Exactly.
That's it.
I'm going to replay that part over and over again. It's going to be my ringtone.
Oh, God. I have a better one for you. In fact, I think I sent it to you a few days ago.
GNR.
No. I don't think you've listened yet.
Okay.
Go for it. But that was fantastic. That was
Okay.
amazing.
But you're also glossed over a lot of facts. If you look
As I
at,
usually do.
Okay.
No.
If you look at economic indicators, if you look at GDP per capita, especially in the West, if you look at the trade relationships and the level of trade in the West,
Yes.
all of those indicators, we are much wealthier than we were a generation ago.
GDP
What?
indicators.
What?
Per capita.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Sorry.
If you look at where
No.
Canada?
If you look at
We're
if you look at where 2000, if you look at the GDP line, I'm not talking about Canada. I'm talking about the West, the aggregate.
Per
Look at the
capita, look at per
OECD.
capita.
If you look at the OECD, GDP from 2000 to 2025 has
Don't
gone
look
up
at
that
GDP.
way.
Yeah, per capita you have to look at.
Wait.
Okay.
Even if you look at it per capita, there's been a significant change over the course of the last generation. I'm going to say even half generation that has skewed the numbers tremendously. The rich have
Are getting
gotten
richer.
so rich.
Yeah, exactly.
We've never seen the likes of the wealth that certain individuals, the concentration of wealth in Western society, and particularly in North America,
Through the roof.
has never been as great as it is today.
Right.
That boosts the overall number so that even if you look at it on a per capita basis, it's so misleading.
Yeah.
Because the middle class, if I can use that term, is eroding.
Yeah.
You have greater wealth at the upper end than you've ever had, more tightly concentrated,
Aki, you going to argue this?
and you have a portion of the middle class that has moved closer and closer to the poverty line.
Yeah.
Aki?
And that's frightening.
Okay.
True so far?
I would have to look at the numbers, but I think what you're saying, we know that there's a problem.
Gobsmacked.
We know that there's a
I am
problem with
fucking
we know that
gobsmacked
there's
at
a
this
problem
one.
with the middle class.
You've been preaching this for the past fucking
I'm
year and a
not-
half.
But I'm not. But again, I'm not going to
Without
say.
looking at the data.
I'm not going to say that communist China is a.
No, but
is
Aki, can you agree on one thing at a time? Stop for 1 second. Stop yourself from being everywhere all at once, like the movie. Everything everywhere all at once. One topic at a time. What he just said, is it true or not?
There's a lot of truth to what
No.
what he said.
Is it true or not? The answer is it is true.
Okay, but if you look at life expectancy has gone up.
Stop changing the fucking
If you look
topic.
there's other indicators as well that
We're talking economy right now.
There's other indicators
Can you
that
just,
address.
for one
It's not just about the economy. It's also about social,
when he's cornered, it's like a rat. He goes all over the place.
Social well-being. It's the only marker is not the economy, Naran. That's what I'm saying.
Not Barsha.
The only marker is not the the only marker is not the economy. There are other markers as well.
Right now, we're just talking about can we just put it
economy,
to one thing? We're talking about the economy. Economically speaking, what he's saying is the truth in North America.
That the middle class,
is eroding,
struggling.
Yes,
it's eroding.
Well,
yeah.
you're not gonna. You
Yeah,
have
it
to
is.
agree with
It
that.
is. It is.
So stop disagreeing.
It is. It
yes.
is.
So we're all in agreement with what he just said.
It is. But
hang on. In the same time frame, what about the middle class in China? Do you think it's gotten better or worse?
What about
Hang on. Economically, just answer my fucking question. Is it better or worse in China over that same period? What do you think?
But they've started from so far back,
Stop!
so yes, it's better. But no, but
Yes.
you have to have
Stop.
You have to
Full
have
stop. Full stop.
facts.
Full stop.
They started from so far back. Of course, it's better.
And why? Why is it better? Is it because of that fucking government that you hate?
I hate communism.
Correct.
And you as a capitalist, you can live.
But
with
look at what that
communism.
government has done for their
Fine.
people.
Therefore, communism. Therefore, Nuran, are you concluding that communism then is a successful
Aki,
type of government?
What is it about you that can't agree with something if you don't agree with the entire theme? You can agree with certain facts because they are facts and you have to agree with them without having to take it into a bigger picture about communism.
That's difficult for people. It's not just an Aki thing, although he exemplifies it brilliantly. It's a general trait.
Stop
people
putting
have.
those glasses on. Take it off and look at this one
Guys,
narrow field.
we're also getting off topic because we are.
Okay.
Because, as much as you accuse him of just focusing on the economy,
Yeah.
you seem to be focused on communism. And we understand that
Yeah.
you hate communism.
I hate communism.
The fundamental question was, why
have you been to Cuba?
Why
Sorry.
is
Yes.
China the enemy? And we've tried to answer that.
Is China the enemy?
No, why? Because we recognize that China is viewed by too many as the enemy.
Yeah.
And why is that?
Yeah.
Pat, can I ask a question?
You can ask as many as you like.
Is there a real enemy? What would you consider to be a real enemy
Putin.
today? Yeah, Russia.
Yeah.
Wait.
Russia.
Well,
Wait.
no, but okay.
Hamas.
How is Russia is an enemy to whom? If you want to tell me Russia is an enemy to Ukraine,
Yeah.
you have
yeah.
me.
Yeah.
But
to Europe in general. I
How is Russia an enemy to Saudi Arabia?
No, you're right.
No, but
I don't see it.
Hold it. What are we talking about here? If you're an enemy and if you're hell bent on expansion and violating borders, why quibble about the degrees? That's a horrible, unacceptable policy.
Okay. You're talking about Russia now.
Yes.
There's a difference between a policy and an actual enemy.
Well, what I just described for me is an enemy.
Okay.
Okay, so I'd like to understand what the definition of an enemy is beyond what you've just described.
Somebody who doesn't have your interests at heart.
That's every country.
And wants to destroy you.
No, somebody who doesn't have your interests at heart could be someone who doesn't care about you.
Yeah.
So to me, it's it's an entity, whether it's individual or collective,
That seeks to destroy you.
that threatens on every imaginable level.
Yeah.
So economic, ideology,
I will destroy
political
you.
system,
Yes.
rights, free, all of it. That to me is an enemy.
I must break you.
So if I'm in Ukraine and somebody is trying to invade my country
That's an enemy.
and to take over portions of that country and destroys my property because they're completely disrespectful of my way of life.
Doesn't recognize my
They
sovereignty.
want to damage my economy. They want to weaken me in every sense of the word.
Yeah.
That's an enemy.
Yeah.
So for that reason, China does not completely fit the bill.
Unless you're Taiwan.
Well, so to Taiwan,
Yeah.
China is a prospective enemy
Correct.
because some people may choose to question China's intentions, but they seem fairly evident or clear.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay?
Although to be devil's advocate, China is legitimately claiming that Taiwan has always been a part of China.
I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not arguing
Trump
that.
would like to think that the borders that have been drawn
Artificially.
between Canada and U.S. along the 49th parallel are artificial. And to that, I would answer, Mr. President, you're absolutely right. Because every border that is drawn around any country of the world is a human construct.
Correct.
Exactly.
And Mexico would have an opinion
But
on
once,
the United States
but once
border.
those borders have been drawn
That's it.
and agreed to by on an international basis, then it would be nice if we could respect them and honor them.
Yeah. Unless you're Russia with Ukraine.
If not, it creates the prospect of tensions that escalate into war.
And I wouldn't mind taking a big race for 2 hours and put it 200 kilometers north.
That's all
Okay.
of Canada almost.
Guys,
Population wise.
we're going to try and wrap this up.
Okay. So
I'm going to start with Dominic because I know there's plenty coming from the two others.
China is not the enemy. China, I agree with Naran, as a collective mind, way of thinking, not one generation, but 10 generations, and it's working for them. And we have nothing to tell them how to do it, how to deal with their people. Let them do it.
Okay.
Well, he said it very well. I agree with everything that the Dominic said. There's absolutely no way that I believe that they're the enemy. I think what they've done is formidable in terms of economic power. I think what they've done for their middle class and their people to take them out of poverty is unbelievable. I think the way that they've constructed their cities, their systems, their operations, their industry, all of it, although they've cheated in multiple ways in doing so by stealing technology and stealing things, yes, but it's a known fact. If you're a country, you don't want to do business with them, you know what you're getting into. It's all there. It's all in the open. The way that they deal with their people, it's all in the open. But if you ask the people, I think most of them are very happy with what's happened because they remember 1 or 2 generations ago when they were in the mud and in the dirt and they had nothing to eat. So now they have an economic strength and a fortitude, and I think that they're doing quite well. So no, I don't think they're the enemy.
Aki?
China is a communist dictatorship, and historically, communist dictatorships have been a force for trouble in the world. I think that there's a lot of cover-ups in China because of the nature of their system. So a lot of there's a lot of economic stresses that we're not bringing up that are there. But overall, as we've always done, we have to be pragmatic. They are an important economic power. I'm not saying they're the enemy, but I'm certainly saying that they're the adversary. I'm certainly saying that we should be vigilant against communism, as we've always been. And I'm saying that hopefully that if we can be intelligent and continue to put the emphasis on trade, we can build a more trusting relationship with them. But it's a long work in progress.
Yeah, and I think that those who view China as an enemy or a prospective enemy should find ways to lessen their dependency on China or gain greater independence, find new trading partners, which some countries have done over the course of the past several years. Right, there are some alternatives, and if you don't believe that you can essentially build your economy to the degree that you would like without some engagement with China, understand that it's going to be a form of competition. In other words, while there is cooperation, there's going to be competition. And you have to find ways to adequately protect yourself because clearly we have seen evidence that China cannot be trusted. They're not going to be respectful. They're not going to be trustworthy as a trading partner. They're not going to respect certain Western values and beliefs and policies pertaining to copyright, intellectual property, and so on. And so don't be naive. Understand that all of those are at risk if you choose to partake in some form of engagement with China. I can see how some countries legitimately look at China as an enemy or prospective enemy, and I think others are just getting caught up in a narrative that is there for self-serving reasons. and perhaps ideological reasons.
Very good.
All right, guys, interesting conversation.
Yes.
Perhaps worthwhile revisiting at some point.
Long live China.
Democracy forever.
All right, and on that note, we will thank our viewers and listeners for joining us
And
once
we
again.
were not made in China.
We'll have to check the label. All right, guys, see everyone next week.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Thanks,
Take care,
guys.
Romeos.